Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Elise here at Plan with Elise, and today we have another setup video in my 2023 setup series. This is a little bit less of a setup video and more of a showing you what I've set up video. I also want to mention 4 turkey vultures are outside my window right now and I'm very distracted by them. If you're new to my channel, I don't like birds. They freak me out. Turkey vultures are gigantic. They're basically dinosaurs with wings. Okay, we're gonna look down. We're not gonna look out the window. My window's there. We're gonna look here. So this is a collaboration with my friend Jess over at Knit Plan Jess. And all of 2022, we have shared our reading journal setups with you. So whether you're using a Bujo, this is a Happy Plans and Notes, a journal, a planner. This is how we are tracking our reading for the year. And so today's collaboration is again with Jess. So make sure you check out her video linked in the description. All right, let's get started. So I was delaying filming this video a little bit. I know I said let's get started. Let me give you a chat first. I was delaying filming it because I was like, my setup's not going to be that different from last year. I think that sometimes we feel this need to change things because it's a new year. But when something works, it works. And my reading journal from last year has worked for me. And I think next month you may see a tour of that now that it's like completed or will be completed. So again, I have a Happy Plans and Notes. This is a Happy Planner item that is available exclusively on Amazon. Of course, it'll be linked in the description. And the way it's set up, I feel like I need a blank one. The way it's set up is basically 12 blank monthly calendars and currently pages, and then dividers, and then a bunch of notes pages. So it's really customizable to use it for whatever you want. And for me, I love using it as a reading journal. So I printed out this quote: "It is better to get lost in the pages of a book than anywhere else." I thought that was a really good quote and indicative of how I feel about reading. And then as you turn the page, I have this page, which is a sticker from Planner Kate. This is a big sticker and it's a 7x9, and this is the year in pixels. And I thought that I would use it as a year to track my reading. What I haven't figured out yet, and this is where I'm adamant about, I'm not going to wait until a video is perfect until I film it, is that I could do different colors, like started a book, finished a book, read 30 minutes, listened to an audiobook, which I don't really listen to much. Or I can just mark them on days I read. So I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do here. Luckily, I have like another 2 weeks until I have to decide, but that's kind of some ideas that I have for this page. I did just order a couple more of these. They were on sale to put in my regular planner in terms of like a mood tracker, but I liked this year in pixels page. Then this is kind of what I meant about the currently, but it's on the right side. And then we have the perpetual calendar. And the way that I use the perpetual calendar in 2022, trying to pull it out, is I would mark when I started reading a book. Some of these were all one-day books, which is why they're all listed. And then there's an arrow when it took longer. And then if there's nothing, like April 17th, I didn't read it all that day. So I like this as kind of just an overall tracking system. And normally in a dated planner, the perpetual calendar has shaded weekends. Because this is undated, the weekends aren't shaded at all because it'll change based on when you're using it. Okay, then we have my January overview. So this is going to look pretty much identical to 2022 because again, it's worked for me. So here's my thought process. I will mark with probably like a zig dot marker, like the bullet marker. When I read something, I'll put my favorite book here, my favorite quote, pages that I read, and then I'll print out the book covers and put them here. In 2022, the calendar I made was a little bit bigger, so I had less space here to put the book covers. So sometimes it was a little bit cramped if I read a lot, but I made smaller ones using the Happy Planner checklist stencils that came out in the fall release. And then I went through and dated the months. And again, I'll start writing what books I read here and maybe just some notes of like books I want to read or things I have on hold. Most of my reading is done with my Kindle, and I use 2 things. I use Kindle Unlimited, and I also use my library app called Libby. where I can rent books. So that's what the monthlies look like. Did I change it? Trying to see. So some of this is a work in progress. So I didn't do a header here. I probably should have. And then the way that I did the stencils is because January starts on a Sunday, I did there through the 31st. February starts on a Wednesday. So I only have the days that are in here. I might number these, like date them. I'm not really sure yet. A lot of this is kind of like, let me set up what I know works and then kind of see how it goes. And I just lettered these and used a box stencil to put that down as well. So that's what all the monthlies look like. They're the same. So we can just flip through. Okay, now we have another tab. This time, what I decided to do is list out authors that I like. I have to do the dots down there. But because I found some authors this year that I really like, I decided that I would write the books written by them and I can check off what I want to read. I also have this printable from my friend Ruth, the crafter mom, and she just opened an Etsy shop. She has some reading trackers and things like that. So this is the Colleen Hoover reading checklist. I need to go through it. At this point, I've read most of the Colleen Hoover books. I think that there's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 maybe that I haven't read. So maybe that'll be on next year's list. But I like this reading checklist page. So when, again, there's authors that I enjoy, I will be listing their books right over here. Up next, we have 2 more Planner Kate bookshelves. And these, again, are stickers. This is a 7x9 sticker because it fits in a classic happy planner. And this is where I'm going to write book recommendations. So I don't usually have a long, like, to be read list, but this is where I would like to write books that I want to read. So I guess that kind of is a to be read list. So that's 2 stickers that I have, and they'll be here. My next section are going to be my trackers. So a lot of these, well, all of the ones I'm going to show you now are printables in my Etsy shop. Originally, when I did this, I don't think I made any printables, but then there was interest, so I started designing them. And rather than do everything handwritten again this year, I decided I would just print out my own products. So I have my Reading 100 Books tracker. I also have a 50 book tracker. At some point, I'd like to come up with a 25, but I'm having some design struggles with it, so it's not my top priority right now in terms of things I need to get done this month. But I have 100 books and 50 books in both Happy Planner sized and half letter size, or A5 sized. Then I have Book Bingo. So this is the bingo challenge from 2022, and I still need to figure out what I want to write in here because I really think that I enjoyed this, and there were a lot of books that I read that maybe I wouldn't have read otherwise. But I did definitely add some in that, like, classic literature published in 1987 or before 1987, because I thought, well, these are the year I was born. The 1987 was the year I was born. I'm just not entirely sure what I want this to look like. So again, it's not filled in yet, but by the time you see my January recap video, it should be filled in, or maybe I'll put it on Instagram or something like that. So right now I'm just kind of showing you like my setup. This isn't 100% finished. Then we have a Reading 100 books. I have this available like this vertically for 150, and I also have it horizontally, I believe, for 50. I don't know that I'm going to read 100 books. I did this year, but it wasn't easy. But I think I'm going to keep it there anyway, because if I don't finish it, then like I didn't fail. I still read a book or however many I read. So that's kind of the mentality that I'm going into the year with, is still setting a high goal of 100. In 2021, I think I read 17. And in 2022, I read 101 so far. So we're going to keep the goal at 100, and it'll help keep me motivated. But I just don't know if it'll happen. I hope it does. So reading 100 books. Then we have a monthly review. And this is where I'll write down the amount of books I read and the pages that I read in these boxes. So I like this page because it's just nice and simple. And then we have the A to Z reading challenge, which I had last year too, or this year. The only one I haven't finished so far is Z. So that's something that I'll look at working on. Okay. Now, so those are my trackers, and I might add some more in throughout the year as I find a need for them. Now, what I'm probably most excited about in terms of my reading journal are these review pages. So you may recognize them from previous videos or Instagram, where this is what they look like. And last year I hand drew them all. And I also had a printed version, but it was bolder, bold lines. So this was the designed version that I had available on Etsy. I redesigned it now that I've learned a little bit more about how to use design tools, and it's now more neutral and simple and smaller lines and a little bit cleaner. So what I did was I printed these out double-sided and I cut them. I'm not always great at cutting on a straight line, but I promise you they are designed straight. And I will just continue to print these out for my book review, where I write the title, the date I started, the date I finished. I will color in the stars for a review, write the category of book, the amount of pages, a memorable quote. And then I have these stickers from Proud Sticker Designs. We have some big and some smaller ones. These go to 31, never mind. We have these, which go to 100. So there's 2 sets. There's 200 stickers to number these. And that's what I used this year to number them here. This was a request I had from Nicole of Proud Sticker Designs, because most dates or most number stickers only go to 31 for dates. So instead we have these for 100. So as I go through, my tweezers aren't in here, I will just number these and be able to list out the books. And then of course there are a ton of note pages back here, so I can continue to list out authors. I might do another like Goodreads best of 2022 Goodreads kind of thing like I did last year, but I really only read a few books on that list. So it's kind of like a quick, simple video. Other things that you may have seen previously on my channel are these stars from Art Creation Inc. That is what I used for these ratings down here. But again, now that I have it printed, I don't need the stickers for it. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what this year brings and what stories I add to my life through books, because it's been a really special year focusing so much on reading, and I've loved it, and I've loved connecting with so many of you in terms of books. It's been really special, and just another way to kind of connect with our community. So let me know your thoughts. Everything I used today will be linked in the description, the happy plans and notes, all of my trackers, the Colleen Hoover tracker, all that stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you check out Jess's video in the description, and please do give this one a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time.